bell ringer. What was yesterday's bell ringer about? What's tomorrow's bell ringer about? Are you surprised I'm going to tell you that you need to factor today?
No.
So let's factor. So I have x squared plus 2x minus 15. How can I factor that? It is a negative 3 and a positive 5 because negative 3 plus 5 gives you 2 and negative 3 times 5 gives you a negative 15. That is correct. Okay, yesterday we stopped there. No, we didn't stop there. We actually found the roots. How do I know today that I'm supposed to keep going? What word lets me know that? Like, this is not the end. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Solutions implies we need to solve. That word solutions implies we need to solve. So let's set it equal to 0 and determine our two roots or our two solutions. So what are our two answers? Yep. X equals positive 3 and x equals negative 5. It ends up being the opposite side. And now we finally get into, good grief, Hurricane, get it together. We finally get into the actual question. We've got to decide which one is A and which one is B. Is the 3 going to be A or is the negative 5 going to be A? Say it again. The negative 5 is the A. The 3 is a B. Why is that? Because it says A is less than B. Well, negative 5 is less than 3. 3 is not less than negative 5. I can write it and think about it for a second. That's wrong. 3 can't be less than a negative number. So I've decided which one's A and which one's B. And what did they ask me to do next?
What is the value of 4A?
So instead of 4A minus 3B, I should do 4 times negative 5 and then negative 3 times. And I should end up getting, yes, A, which is negative 29. Perfect. If I had guessed, I would have never guessed that answer choice. Which answer choice would I have guessed?
12.
Is that a smart answer choice? I would have guessed negative 1 because 1 was repeated twice and most of the answers were negative, so I would have gone with negative 1. If you're going to guess, make it a good one. A real good one. It'll work most of the time. Not all the time. Okay, as for today, so we've talked about quadratic functions, axes of symmetry, vertex, intercepts, whole 9 yards. We've talked about it all. Today and tomorrow we're finally going to talk about something new that is still related to graphing quadratics. It's called the quadratic formula. Okay, you and I love to factor. Boy, let me tell you, we're factor crazy. And if I really asked you to, you could make a ninja star for this. You can make the A6 and then, but I mean, let's think about this ninja star, how complicated it would be. You don't have to write this unless you want to. This ninja star would have a 6 here, a 10 here, but it would have a really big number on top because we would have to do negative 24 times 6. That's a big number. What is negative 24 times 6? It is negative 144. So now we're trying to think of things that multiply to 144 and add to 10. That's going to take a while. Now, I know Rex is good at that kind of thing. He did the extra ones on the another way to factor. And that's great. And in real life, on a standardized test, you see a problem, you can pick whatever you want. So if Rex knows he can quickly ninja star this, he should. However, me, until I taught you, I didn't know how to factor with a ninja star. That's not how I do it. I just kind of guess. And then, so you can either factor. Your options in life are to factor. And factor will work most of the time. But we've seen sometimes where things aren't factorable. Haven't you wondered, is there an answer even though it's not factorable? Yeah. So factoring's great. But what always works is this thing called the quadratic formula. Why do my words come out weird today? Quadratic formula. I can sing a song for you, but it would be really annoying.
Let's do it.
Do you want the song?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want the Pop Goes the Weasel version?
Or
I don't know what the other song is. I forgot. I'll just sing both, but I'm going to stop my YouTube recording because YouTube does not need to hear me sing. So you already know what A, B, and C are. We're just going to plug stuff in, chug out an answer. Okay, so let's start. We're going to do two examples only. We're probably going to save that purple slip for tomorrow. And then once you finish your group activity, you could work on the monkey. You should work on the monkey. Lord knows Miss Compton and Quadratics are parting ways come Friday. I promised you I was going to hand you your activity today. That's going to be due next Tuesday, and I lied. I might go get that copied at some point in my life, but there were too many people sitting in line to copy it for me to stand there for you. I love you, though. Might be tomorrow. It's not going to be due until next Tuesday. My gosh. It's going to be okay. It involves Angry Birds. Maybe. Maybe I'll have it to you by the end of the period. Maybe I'm that good. Help me first. What is A? What is B? What is C?
A is 6.
What is B?
It's 10.
And what is C?
And C is 24.
What was A again?
6.
She keeps saying 6x squared. It's just 6. Okay. She's trying to kill me.
Well.
Okay. So then, if we know that A, B, and C, we genuinely just plug them into the formula. Plug them into the formula. So we're going to do, it's negative B, so x equals negative 10 plus or minus square root. B squared, well that would be 10 squared minus 4. What's A?
6.
What's C? Negative 24. All over 2 times A. A was... That was the hardest part. Knowing the formula. Now this looks insane. What on earth is this? How on earth do we get 2 answers out of this? Because with roots, when we've been factoring, we've been getting 2 answers. And we're still going to get 2 answers with that quadratic formula. That's what this plus or minus is for. We're going to have one that goes with the plus and one that goes with the minus. We'll get there in just a second. Are there any questions? Step 1. Are there any questions about how I plug that in? Yes, ma'am. Solution. Oh, duh. My bad. Standard form of a quadratic. But you already knew that because you knew where I got the A, B, and C from. So, my bad. You already knew that. You already got yelled at this week about that. Not really yelled, but I was disappointed, yes. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes, yes. Why is that?
I don't know. Probably because we didn't have phones.
I don't know. Who knows? Okay, so from here on out, it's math. I can do math. So x equals, there's nothing new with the negative 10 yet, plus or minus, what is 10 squared? 100. I need someone to type in their calculator, negative 4 times 6 times negative 24. 24 times 24? Because 4 times 6 is 24, so 24 times 24, wouldn't that be 576?
576.
Yeah. Okay, and then let's debate it. Is it negative or is it positive?
It's positive.
Yeah, because we have a negative times a negative, so it all ends up being positive. Okay, so let's say those words again. I did 10 squared, I got 100. I typed in my calculator. Negative 4 times 6 times negative 24. I got positive 576. But you have this fancy thing called a calculator, and you could genuinely type in this whole thing, but you would have to do one line with a plus, and then do this whole thing and one line with a minus. Just a thought, but that's a bit much. I won't show work. I like math. What's 2 times 6? 12. Okay, so now what should I do? Okay, so if I add those two, I would get 676 over 12. Are there any questions up to this point? What is your question?
How do you, like, you might have answered this, but when it has, like, plus or minus, how do you know which one it is? Or is it just...
Oh, we're about to tackle that bad boy. Does everyone understand why my first step was I did some math? I did normal, like 10 squared, I multiplied this. So basically I've figured out what number needs to go underneath that radical. Is everyone good till here? Now here's the miracle part, because somehow we have to come up with two answers from here. So that's why we're going to do two different options. We've got the one option where we could do, what is the square root of 676? Is it a nice one? Someone asked your calculator that, right? Make my life any hard. It is 26. So I have negative 10 plus or minus 26 over 12. Still haven't made the miracle happen yet. Finally, we're going to see a miracle. Because the Lord knows I don't know how to do. Do you know how to do a plus minus?
I don't.
I don't. So we're going to separate it. We're going to do one with the plus, negative 10 plus 26 over 12. And we're going to do one with the minus, negative 10 minus 26 over 12. That's how we tackle that plus or minus. We separate them like the Red Sea. We work one with the plus. We work one with the minus. Okay, so 26 minus 10, that ends up being 16 over 12, right?
Right.
So that reduces to what? 4 over 3. And then this one, I get negative 36 over 12, and that reduces to negative 3. So our two solutions, the two roots that we have when we cross that x-axis, are 4/3 and negative 3. That's where we cross.
It can be that small.
Yeah.
That's not really decimal.
Yeah, it'd be like if we had gotten 3x plus 2 up here and we had solved and gotten x equals negative 2/3. Like, we've been getting complicated ones with the Ninja Star.
So it's not a more simpler way to do this.
No, and I like the quadratic formula more than I like Ninja Starring, because sometimes the Ninja Star lets me down and I can't figure stuff out. Like, I get stuck or it won't factor at all. You're going to tell me the two factors for the Ninja Star.
I'm saying that you could have gotten GCF before you did the Ninja Star.
Yeah, that's what, well, we could have done the, Rex has something that I hadn't even considered today. That's a really good idea. Rex has a thought of, why don't we pull out the 2? 2 goes into everybody. Why didn't we do 2 and then have 3x squared plus 5x minus 12? I don't know. That's a really good question. That's really ugly written, but. And he is correct. He's correct, and then it would be easier to do the Ninja Star, because then we're worried about what multiplies to negative 36 and adds to 5. So 9 and 4. He's correct in some ways. But saying, huh?
How's he in some ways? He is correct.
He is correct for this example. Yes,
Yeah.
he is correct for this example.
Oh,
But I swear, if you look at some of the ones on that monkey, especially the ones that are decimals, because if he has his did you not pick up a monkey, Jenny? The color by numbers.
It says
On the back of the color by numbers is a monkey. Okay, if you looked at your monkey, Rex is correct. Like on number 4, we could factor out a 2 first and try to Ninja Star it. But my God, no. My God, how are we ever going to get, some of the answers are supposed to be like 1.30, negative 2.3. We've not been getting stuff like that when we've been factoring. We have not. I've been picking perfect, pretty ones, so we would not end up with jankety answers like that. That's awful. So what I'm going to tell you is I love you dearly. And like on number 10, I see I could pull out the 6, so it'd be x squared plus x minus 3. It's a great idea. Too bad the directions say what?
use quadratic formula.
Did they say factor?
No.
No. So can you check yourself with factoring? Oh yeah, you can check yourself all day long. And in real life, when Rex sees a thing on a standardized test, he can pick whatever he wants to pick. Lord knows I'll just be proud he got an answer. But today, the whole point is the darn quadratic formula, so he's going to have to quadratic formula it. Help me. Let's do one more with the quadratic formula before we go back to our group activity. Tell me what A, B, and C are. -1, 3, and 10. Okay, and then the purple sheet. So Rex is right. Like factoring, especially since we've done it for so stinking long, factoring should be our first choice. Like if I get to choose, I'm a factor. I'll give you that. However, the purple sheet, which is what we're going to get into tomorrow, the quadratic formula helps us know more about those zeros. Remember how we've been discussing how a quadratic could have no zeros at all? It cannot touch the x-axis. Or it could have a double root. The quadratic formula, via something called a discriminant, lets us know what to expect from the graph, whereas when we factor, we don't automatically know what to expect from the graph, unless we get like a x minus 3 squared. But then we actually had to do work for that to happen. So, okay, someone help me. Let's see. It's supposed to be x equals negative b, so negative what?
3.
Plus or minus square root b squared minus 4a
-1.
c
10.
all over 2a. Perfect. So I've got x equals -3 plus or minus square root. I should have worked it in that next box. That's what we did on the last one. Why am I being weird? Oh, I've already started. What's 3 squared? And then -4 times -1 times 10? -4, -1, 10. Yeah. Should get a positive 40. And then 2 times the -1, what would you get then?
-2. Right?
Yes. So I've got x equals -3 plus or minus the square root of 49 all over -2.
All of this is supposed to go in the next box, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What do I do now?
You need to make 2 different problems.
I think there's something I can do
Square
first.
root.
Which is? And now we can do what Ty wanted, and I'll do that in the next box. We do break it into 2 separate problems. So we're going to have one with the plus. So x equals, I need to throw that pen
X
away.
equals -3 plus 7 over 2.
Equals -3 plus 7 over -2. And
And then x equals -3 minus 7.
-3 minus 7 over 2. With the first one, we get 4 over -2, which is -2. With the second one, we get what? Yes, -10 over 2, which is -5. Thank you, ma'am. So our 2 answers are -2 and -5. Now again, you know that I know that both of these are factorable. And you know that I know that in real life, when you use the quadratic formula, you're probably not going to get a nice pretty number like this. It's probably going to not be a perfect square. But we purposely picked nice examples to at least go over how to plug it in, how to get an answer out. Ma'am.
Wouldn't it be a positive 5 because that's -2?
-10 over 2.
Yeah.
-10 over 2 is -5?
It'd be
That's
negative
-2.
-2. You said -2 in all the other ones. And then you said
Over.
they changed.
Oh, I left it off right here. Oh, bless you for finding my mistakes. I appreciate that. Thank you, dear.
Oh man, I messed up.
Bless.
Scary
Bless you.
or positive 5?
It is positive 5. Great. I'm so glad someone had found that. Good. Awesome.
We are paying attention.
I'll give you that. I know she is. Okay, so hold on I want to tell you which ones to do on the monkey because there are some that are going to be a little difficult. We'll let tomorrow's self handle those.